Hello and welcome back. This is Angeles Perez, and I would like to talk today a little bit about NLP. For those out there who don't know what it is, it's a form of therapy, hypnosis called neuro-linguistic programming. And more specifically, I'm talking about one method. Now, I'm only talking about this because I got a lot of people recently just asking me, what is this all about? What is timeline therapy? What does that have to do in relationships to NLP? It's the same thing. It's just a process. NLP is hypnosis, and this is just one tool out of the box. And what does it have to do in relationships to quantum mechanics, if anything? And I said, very interesting. Probably has everything to do with quantum mechanics, and maybe everything to do with, or indirectly to do with manifesting. So how can you justify that, Angelus? Well, I can only justify from my own observations and what I've been taught about timeline therapy. And before I can mention timeline therapy, I'm going to bring it up over here for my notes. I think when I was exposed to it, it was back in the early 2000s. And I was certified and trained in NLP at the time by a good friend of mine. And he exposed me to this doctor who actually was working and improving this technique since the 1980s. His name was Tad James, PhD. And according to Tad James, he basically copyrighted the term timeline therapy. You can call it whatever you want. Quantum therapy, manifesting, and reversed. There's so many names to it nowadays. If you want more information, Google it. This video is not in the scope of talking about the inventor of timeline therapy, or should I say the discoverer. He didn't invent it. But the good doctor did contribute a lot to the benefit of helping a lot of people solve issues that other therapies and other types of sciences just couldn't come close or grasp the intricacies, of the way we are made up and hold emotional trauma. So timeline therapy was developed by Tad James. Like I said, timeline therapy involves treatment at an unconscious level and allows a client to surrender negative emotions linked to past experiences and transform the internal programming. I think he quoted that back in July 2nd, 2015. Now, what does that all mean? Well, I'm just sharing with you something that I cannot explain. I've used it many times with my clients. It's a cross between magic, manifesting, faith, science. It really is the ground level, all types of weird science that actually works. So you don't have to understand what I'm going to talk about for the next couple of minutes. It's like electricity. You don't know why it is electricity. You don't know what it's created from and where it came from. You just know how to utilize it in your daily life. It helps you, it supports you, it keeps you warm, cold, gives you light. So you don't need to know what electricity is. This is the same thing. I'm going to explain how it can be utilized to improve your life by getting rid of past traumas, unconscious, like the good doctor said, because most of this stuff is not conscious. In fact, I want you to put aside your consciousness because it's going to be very difficult for your conscious mind to grasp what I'm going to start talking about. So keep that in mind. This is not about trying to understand this. This is all about utilizing this magnificent tool that was invented some time ago. Now, if you want to get every inch of nuance to this explanation, please watch the video from the beginning to the end. And while you're at it, if you don't mind, I would appreciate it if you like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit the icon bell so that you can be reminded when I upload future videos. So with that, let's get on with this story of timeline therapy. What is timeline therapy? What does it have to do with NLP? Well, I already answered that earlier. It is just another tool in the toolbox of all hypnotherapists. So it's just a method. So as a method, meaning that it's not the silver bullet, it doesn't help everybody, but out of all the tools out there that I've used, this really, really helps more people than it doesn't help. So I would say 99% of the people out there, this therapy works. So, but it's one method and it works not for everyone equally, but it has an impact on so many of my past clients on the positive side that I just have to talk about it now. So what has to do with quantum mechanics or even manifesting? Well, I'm going to explain manifesting last at the end of the video, but the beginning part would have to start with what is quantum mechanics. Quantum mechanics, another subject. We don't know it. We don't understand it. My friends who study it, full-time job, get paid to do all the math. They love it. they don't understand it. So this is the quantum realm is just a interesting field of science. We can be on it forever and not truly completely understand it, but we don't have to. Like I said earlier, we can utilize quantum mechanics in so many ways. When I was taught timeline therapy, it came to my realization that this is crossing that boundary. This is perhaps utilizing the quantum field. So quickly, how does it work? Well, a few years back, just before COVID, one of my clients said, I'm attempting to do something with a new business of mine. I'm attempting to open up an online business of affiliate marketing. And I said, okay, at the time, I really didn't know a lot about affiliate marketing, but I didn't have to know to help this person because obviously they had some kind of trauma in the past, something that person wasn't sure why, some kind of mindset that every other technique was not working on. And I've used other techniques. They've been to other doctors, they've been to other coaches, and somehow they were not getting the results they wanted. What was the problem? Problem is, we don't know exactly, and it's not important to know. Like psychology would want to explore it and go back and research what caused it. Timeline therapy doesn't work that way. All we know is, listen, you want to open up a new business called affiliate marketing, but for some reason, something inside of you is keeping you from going forwards in the back end, doing the online, administrative part, the marketing part, whatever. Something is just keeping my client from going forwards. I said, okay, let's try this. Timeline therapy is, and it's like massaging. You really can't do this to yourself. You can massage yourself, but you can't really get a full body relaxing massage unless somebody else is doing it for you. Timeline therapy works the same way. I don't recommend you try to do this on your own. I've done it on my own. I understand timeline therapy, and it doesn't work very efficiently when I do it on myself. So you really want to get some other guide, somebody who's certified or trained in hypnosis, and specifically timeline therapy, to be your guide. So with that said, I guide my client through the process, which requires them to imagine a timeline, past, present, and future. They then are told what direction this timeline is going. Everybody's different. Some of it is going from the future to the past, forwards, backwards, or backwards, forwards, to the side, to an angle, doesn't care, and you being in the middle where it's the present, the now. So once they're established in their mind's eye where the timeline is, I then lead the person into a hypnotic state, a theta level. Once they're at a theta level hypnotic state, then I tell them to imagine them floating up from the present, like you're coming out of your own body, like you're astral projecting. Look down and you see your body in the now. You look to your left, if the left is the past, or to the right, if it is the future. And then you say, okay, now we're going to go up the timeline or back to the past. I should say back the timeline to the past. So now I tell them we're going to go to the past on the timeline. And I tell them before we go forwards, and here's where it starts to get a little funky. I tell them, I want you to tell me, first thing that comes to your mind, don't use your mind to think about it. Don't use your conscious mind. Just first impulse, tell me it. Did it happen before, during, after your birth? And then they'll say immediately, before my birth. Now, mind you, I've had people who are self-proclaimed atheists, Catholics, Muslims, Buddhists, all types of backgrounds in sciences and political affiliation and religions. And some of them didn't believe in, reincarnation, past lives, or anything like that. The exercise was not an attempt to make them believe anything. It was just an attempt to help solve an issue they had. And they're leading us. The science shows that our DNA are actually like mini radios that transmit and receive information from the ether. Where it comes from, where it goes, we don't know. That's the quantum field. That's where the information goes and comes. So we have to get it from a subconscious level, which the good Dr. James had said. This is unconscious investigation. So once they say before my birth, okay, I say, okay, how far back did you see this happening, this situation? Now, again, it's not specific. It's not saying what is the reason why you cannot do affiliate marketing, or why you afraid of snakes, or why you can't cross a bridge. I've had clients successfully go through this and get past that. And it just focuses on, they know unconsciously the situation where it first started, their blockage, their trauma, whatever it is. And so I guide them back in time, in their mind, time machine, to that moment, have them experience it for a few moments, make sure that's the right one. Then here's where it really gets magical. This is where the quantum mechanics takes hold. I tell them then to go up from that timeline, so they're separated, and then go farther back in time, say 5 minutes. Now, from 5 minutes, going backwards in time, they turn around, they're looking at the incident that's going to happen 5 minutes from their point of view. Hasn't happened yet, even though it's ancient history. From their point of view, now they're looking towards the future, before they were born, 5 minutes before the incident. And then I say, okay, can you tell me how you feel? Now, how they feel depends on how far back. I might send them back 10 minutes, 50 minutes, a day, whatever it takes. And as I'm telling them to go backwards, I'm also telling them to go higher. So the farther up they go, the farther back they go in time, the farther they separate themselves on a conscious level from the incident. So then to test, at the moment they say, I don't feel or see anything, great. I bring them back to the incident. Now they're going back to the future, to that incident, which is our past from now. And they experience nothing. They don't feel anything, no attachment to that trauma. Once I get them to that point, then I lead them back to their present now, back to their body, and then they snap out of it. Now, at that point, they really don't feel anything. They don't experience anything new. But I tell them, that's okay. Do me a favor, go and experience that which causes the trauma. The person who was afraid of snakes was able to pick up a snake the next day, no problem, without hyperventilating, without being terrified. And the person who was afraid to cross a bridge had no problems walking over the bridge. The person who had this fear of affiliate marketing but wanted consciously to go into that business started becoming very successful in a short period of time. Short period of time, meaning far lesser than a year. Most businesses, you take a long time. In fact, he did so well with affiliate marketing, I decided to get into affiliate marketing. So that's basically what timeline therapy, how it works, how it's utilized, and the magic about it is. Now, okay, this is the last thing I want to leave you all with. Since I'm from a scientific background, I went to school in the sciences. I went into research science. So I'm not doing it anymore, but I'm still part research scientist deep down. I said to myself, well, if you can go back in time and change your present by changing things in the past, why not go into the future? Because in the future, past, present, future, if it's dealing with the quantum realm, quantum mechanics, changing your future should do the same thing for your now as changing your past. And as I practice experimenting going into the future on the timeline therapy, instead of going in the past, I discovered interesting things. I realized that doing the same thing with timeline therapy, but going into the future, got also results for the now, for the present. And do you know what those results resembled? You got it, manifesting. You use mantras, you use repetition, you use all kinds of different ways, vision board. All these are great methods. This is manifesting in the simplest form. And it was much, much faster than the other methods I mentioned. So, hey, go out, Google it, check it out for yourself. Don't take my word for it. It's an interesting field of science. I'm very happy to have been, become part of it, being trained in it, being taught it. And my hopes is this can help people out there. If you think timeline therapy might be a way to manifest things or if not change past trauma, go find a certified NLP practitioner and check it out. You never know. You might, and if it works, it's minutes compared to days, weeks, or months trying to, use the other methods. So with that, I'm going to let you guys go. I hope you had immense value from this video. Please tell me if you did. Let me know if you were inspired. Tell me what you got out of it. Tell me if you are people who have gone through timeline therapy and how it's helped. And remember, like this video. It helps me to help you guys. Subscribe to my channel. And don't forget, again, the icon bell so you're reminded when I upload other similar videos. Have a great day.